What's up, pixel addicts and nostalgia lovers? Gilly here from the Retro Oasis, the place where we dust off the past with the present in search of that "I've played this before" feeling. Today, the star of our digital ring is none other than the charming, compact, and potentially addictive Anbernic RG34XXSP. Man, that's a long name. Welcome to the Oasis. Anbernic came to me and said, "Here, play with this handheld and tell people what you think." And of course, I extended my hand so I wouldn't be rude. But hey, I'm warning you right now, my opinion of this thing is my own, because here we don't sugarcoat anything for anyone. You're probably tired of knowing what comes in an Anbernic box, but let's go over it one more time. Handheld, manual, screen protector and wipes, cable. Anbernic also sent me this case. Let's see how the device fits in here. Okay, it's cute. Yeah, but opening and closing it, I don't think it will last very long. Maybe if it had magnets, it wouldn't be so hard to pull it open. But at least it would be perfect for my Indiana Jones cosplay. Remember in the RG35XXSP review when I said it looked like a GBA-SP, only bigger? Well, this one looks like a GBA-SP, period. It's practically the same size and thickness as the GBA-SP. Anbernic managed to make a device smaller than the 35XXSP and still included two analog sticks. Now, whether they will be functional, we'll see it later. But they weren't the pioneers here. We have the Mio Flip. This one arrived in the studio and I haven't had the time to work on its review yet. Mio was the first one to put two thumbsticks in this compact GBA-SP form factor. And it's incredible how similar they are, both in size and layout. Look at this. Mini HDMI and USB-C on top, volume and card slot on the left, power button and another card slot on the right, but on the Anbernic we have a reset button. And on the bottom, the headphone jack, but on the Mio we have another USB-C. Even the back, the grooves on both devices, Anbernic didn't need to do that. Look how different the 35XXSP is. The memory card slots are in the front, and look how smooth the back is. Anbernic seems to have looked at the Mio Flip with its analog sticks and said, "If you can do it, so can I." That's pettiness at its best. The specs of this device are the same as the others in the company's XX series, and by now, everybody knows by heart. Go ahead, pause and check them out. What's different here are 2 GB of RAM instead of 1 GB from the previous models, which honestly won't make a difference for the systems you emulate here, with the exception of Portmaster. I think that will definitely benefit from the extra memory. And a 3:2 aspect ratio screen instead of 4:3, making this handheld ideal for Game Boy Advance games. Besides that, other important things to mention are the presence of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and HDMI out to connect to the TV. The RG34XXSP is available in 4 colors and already comes with a 64 GB card with games, but you have the option of buying it with additional 128 and 256 GB cards. The larger the card, the more games it comes with. It's going for $67 plus shipping on Anbernic's website, and I've left the purchase link for you in the description. If, at the end of the review, you decide to buy it, using that link will help the channel immensely without you paying anything extra for it. Enjoying the review so far? Then stop being a ghost user and come join us by hitting that sneaky like button and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of our tech gems that cure boredom. Much obliged. Let's talk a bit about the controls, starting with the D-pad. It has a thin rubber membrane that feels soft, but with a satisfying click that tells you, "Yes, I register your command. Jump onto that platform without fear." It's neither loose nor too stiff. It has a super short travel, it moves slightly when pressed. I think it's great for the retro games you play here. You will have to get used to it a bit for fighting games. It's not my favorite D-pad for that type of game, but it will do the job. I didn't have any problems with false diagonals unless you apply a bit more force to one side. The face buttons are the same style as the D-pad, clicky and with a very short travel. which actually makes sense for a compact clamshell handheld like this. They have to be extra careful with the controls so they don't touch the screen. They have a quick response. It's the kind of button that makes you feel like you're in command, not like the console is gently suggesting you might want to jump. And we come to one of the most revolutionary and frankly surprising features of the Anbernic RG34XXSP. The analog sticks. Mio revolutionized first. We have two discrete but incredibly functional mini thumbsticks. They are small and very similar to the ones on the PS Vita, but offer a little more resistance. I really like the rubber they put on the surface, which prevents your thumb from slipping too much, and it's cool that they are clickable. But don't be fooled by their size, because they work very well for systems that use analog sticks. I don't recommend playing Cyberpunk 2077 with them, not because it doesn't run here. Well, actually, it does run. You just need to install Newly, then Moonlight via Port Master, and then have a powerful PC. But you get the idea. It's not recommended for that type of game. And to show the buttons, well, they're on the back, aligned, small and discreet. They're also clicky with L2 and R2 slightly raised. They're not the most ergonomic thing in the world for long gaming sessions that required a lot of trigger use, but for their function in more basic games, they'll do the job. To select an item or hit a gas in a racing game, they'll handle it. Let's jump to ergonomics, a crucial point that separates I want to play for hours handhelds from my fingers have turned into claws ones. Right off the bat, the design resembles the Game Boy Advance SP, with that square shape. And yes, it's compact, which is great for portability. It easily fits in the pocket of those tighter pants or even that funny pack that you swore you'd never use it again. But the reality is that size almost never comes with comfort. Let's just say it has a reasonably comfortable grip for its size. It's very good for casual gaming sessions up for about 40 minutes. You kill some bosses, save some princesses, the time will fly by. Now, for more elaborate games that require constant and frantic use of the triggers, like some fighting games, your hands might feel a bit of tension after a while. It's like trying to press an elevator button with your elbow. It works, but it's not ideal all the time. Think of it as that stylish pair of sneakers you love, but you wouldn't wear it to run a marathon. Let's talk about build quality. I think Anbernic over the years has been increasingly perfecting its handhelds, with some exceptions. And the RG34XXSP is very solid, following the line of the RG35XXSP. Unlike certain models that seem like they're going to disintegrate like a biscuit in a glass of milk, the casing seems to be made of good quality plastic, with a matte finish that helps to disguise fingerprints. It's definitely not one of those devices that screams, "I'll break it if you look at me funny." Okay, it might seem I'm being too hard on the Mio Flip, but there's no way not to compare the two of them. Look at the hinge of both. Look how subtle the Anbernic device opens. Now check out the Mio Flip. Even the original GBA, released more than 20 years ago, has a better hinge. Now, can it withstand flying out of a car window if the driver goes over a speed bump too fast? Probably not. But for daily use, for being thrown in a bag, a college backpack, or for surviving an occasional bump on the table, it seems more than capable. Let's check out the display, which is actually quite a big talking point. Here we have a display with a 1280 by 960 resolution. The pixels join hands and perfectly matched 3 times the original GBA resolution, with perfect pixels. It's currently one of the best screens for Game Boy Advance. And that's not all about the display. Brightness and color also count, and a lot. Man, take a look at this comparison with the Mio Flip. It's like night and day, beauty and the lack thereof. While the RG34XXSP boasts a brightness that almost blinds you and colors that pop off the screen since they are so vibrant, the Mio Flip seems to have woken up in a bad mood. Everything is dull, lifeless, sad. And we can clearly see the difference in the playing area due to the screen's aspect ratio. A system like Mega Drive has a larger and more immersive image on the Mio Flip. The same thing with the 35XXSP in relation to colors. They look like they came out of the washing machine and are a bit faded. I'm a fan of large screens, I admit, but if it means having all the beauty that the 34XXSP delivers, I'll give up a few extra pixels without thinking twice. What's the point of a slightly larger display if the image looks washed out and bland? I'd rather lose a little playing area and have an image that makes me sigh. I think it's important to mention is that the battery of this device is actually 3000 mAh, not 3300, as stated in the specs. Basically, in the worst case scenario, if you play a heavy system like PlayStation with brightness and sound at maximum and Wi-Fi on, it lasts 5 to 6 hours, which in my opinion, it's not bad at all. And the software. Anbernic's custom operating system is like that functional friend who isn't super cool, but solves everything. It does the basic job of running emulators and organizing your games without fuss. It's the perfect definition of plug and play. Turn it on, choose the game, and be happy. No installation drama, no headaches, it's damn practical. Now, if you are the hardcore enthusiast type who likes to tinker with the guts of the device, you might miss a deeper customization. But the retro handheld community is more active than a child on sugar. There are already a ton of custom firmwares waiting you to boost your device. One of the things they changed from the previous versions is that you can go to App Center and then Apps. They added this tiny scraper for you to grab covers for the games you add. And here, in Bezel Custom Manager, you can individually choose which systems you want to keep the bezels on. I really like this because before, you only had the option to turn all systems on and off at once. Let's test some games. Anbernic, clever as it is, already sent most systems with filters and bezels pre-configured. Perfect for lazy people. Game Boy, for example, already has the colorization and filter I like. Only this bezel that for me takes up too much of the playing area. But then you can go to the app section I showed you earlier and turn it off to get a larger image. But the true star of this handheld, the icing on the cake, the caviar of emulation is the Game Boy Advance. Here, my friend, it's GBA in full screen running at 3 times the original resolution with perfect pixels. It can't get any better than this, folks. It's pure retro magic. And the cool thing is that the analog sticks are already configured for systems that wouldn't even need them. So there might be some games that could benefit from this. From here on, 4x3 systems will come with bezels. And I must say that for these systems, I actually like them. They add charm. Nintendo DS does pretty well here, but let's be honest, squeezing 2 screens in this little square is like trying to put an elephant in a Volkswagen Beetle. But hey, you can manage. Change the screen layout with R2 and switch between them with L2. My golden tip is, choose games where the second screen isn't too necessary. Nintendo 64, it will depend on the game, but many titles run here without hiccups. And certainly the analog sticks make all the difference, much better than just relying on the D-pad. As for PlayStation, this one is the people's joy. It performs very well, even with optimized graphics. And all the games I tested ran smoothly. Dreamcast, like Nintendo 64, it's a playable system, but not all titles run 100%. You'll definitely take advantage of the analog stick, but due to their size and precision, I recommend choosing the games you play carefully. Don't get frustrated with FPS that requires surgical aiming. We've reached to the limit of this handheld with PSP. As always with this specific chip, there will be several games that will need a frame skip to not look like a PowerPoint presentation. In fact, frame skip is already enabled by default on this system. There will be several titles that you will be able to run fine here. And the analog stick is undoubtedly very welcome for PSP. So what's the verdict? Is the Anbernic RG34XXSP for you? It's not the most powerful handheld on the market, and if you know its limits, it does what it sets out to do. Be a portal back to the 80s and 90s with a touch of 2000s. It delivers a great retro experience. The screen is a feast for the eyes, colors pop, and playing your favorite GBA game on it is like seeing a miniature work of art. It has analog sticks that are a differentiator even if they are micro. A solid, reliable, no-frills build quality with a hinge that doesn't scream in pain every time you pick it up to play, like the Mio Flip. It has HDMI output, it's compact, lightweight, and you can take it anywhere. It's the perfect companion for the bank queue, the bus ride, or that insomnia in the middle of the night. The battery lasts for decent sessions, and the interface is so simple that even your grandmother can use it, after 2 or 3 explanations. But like every good story, there is a but. The ergonomics aren't the best for long gameplay sessions. The screen, however fantastic and perfect for GBA, isn't the best option for most other systems. And if you dream of impeccably emulating more powerful systems like Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, and PSP, well, maybe this one isn't your ideal match. In my opinion, it's a retro champion. It's accessible, charming, and delivers an authentic experience for those who want to relive the golden age of 8 and 16 bits plus PlayStation 1. It doesn't try to be what it's not, and it does what it sets out to do with excellence. If your nostalgic vein pulses strongly for Mario, Sonic, 2D Link, and you want a handheld that's a direct portal to that era without breaking your bank, the RG34XXSP is a good option. It's the perfect handheld for those who understand that sometimes less is more, especially when that less just means turning on the device and playing. But what did you think of it? Is it going to your wish list? Leave your comment below, and when you're done, click on this review here, because I'm sure you're gonna like it. But first, like, subscribe, and follow us.